Hey, I'm Rob, welcome back to PhotoBite. Today I have a wireless mic system from Saramonic, the Blink 500. It looks to be a great all-in-one solution for someone that needs a super compact wireless mic system for a pretty reasonable price. We've been sent the B2 kit, which means you get 2 transmitters in the box. But there is a cheaper kit you can get where it just comes with 1 mic, the B1 kit. Each transmitter you get comes with a lavalier clip mic as well. So far you've been hearing me on the built-in microphone. Yes, they have built-in microphones. But I'm going to clip on the lavalier and then you'll hear me from that perspective from now on. Now the white lavalier and the transmitter are hidden pretty well on my shirt because I've got a white shirt on. But don't worry, it doesn't just come in white, you can also get it in black as well. Now the microphone transmitter just sends the audio straight to the receiver, which I've got attached to the camera at the moment. I'll show you here. Just plugs in using a little 3.5mm jack. It comes with a TRS and a TRRS cable, so you can use this with a smartphone as well, which is extra handy. Setting them up couldn't be easier. You just plug in the receiver to the camera, you turn on the transmitter, and you can adjust the gain on the transmitters themselves. Now, if you're filming yourself, like I am right now, having the gain on the transmitter themselves is pretty handy, but I could see that being an issue if you're filming like a wedding or something and you have your groom wearing one of these kits. You're not going to be able to stop the ceremony to go and change the gain on his mic very easily. The transmitters have this great big blue LED on them, which is great for seeing your gain or your battery life on the devices. However, it is very bright and quite large, so if you have this clipped onto your subject without the lavalier setup, it could be quite distracting in camera. So you'd have to make sure you clip it in backwards to hide that from your camera view. It's a bit chunkier than similar microphones on the market, but it's still so small. It fits in the palm of my hand like nothing. Just bear that in mind, it might be a little larger than you might expect. Now probably the closest thing we have to compare this mic kit to is the Rode Wireless Go system. Now Rode just announced their Wireless Go 2 variant of this. It's pretty similar other than they have 2 transmitters, just like the Saramonic kit. But with the Rode mics, you don't get an included lavalier mic. You have to buy this separately and it's not cheap. So that's one upside to the Saramonic. You kind of get everything you need to get going. But we don't have our hands on the Wireless Go 2 yet. So this will be a good point of reference for the kind of stuff you get with the Rode system. So let me head out with all these mics and try them out a little bit, see how they stack up. So right now you're hearing the Saramonic. I'm outside, it's quite a windy day. They don't come with any included wind muffs, so it'd be quite interesting to see how good the wind reduction is in the built-in microphone, as there's no wind reduction filter you can add to it, and just see how it sounds. Now I'm just attaching the lavalier mic so you can get more of an idea of how it sounds when it's fully set up with the lavalier. You probably notice there's a lot less wind noise, it probably sounds a bit more full. So now I'm just going to tread back a little bit and we can test the range a little bit and then compare it to the other mics. So I'm talking right now and I'm walking along. This is how it sounds, the Saramonic. I'm going to turn around a bit, going to make sure I'm in view of the camera, but I'm, walking quite a bit of distance and see how well this performs. Obviously I can't hear it right now, so you'll only be able to see in the actual video how this sounds and if there is any breaking up. But from what I've heard, it does a pretty good job at quite large distances without a problem. And for a little mic setup like this, it's very unlikely you're going to have to walk this far away from the camera. Now I've got the Rode Wireless Go here, and this is what it sounds like on the built-in mic. As I said, we don't have the Rode Wireless 2 just yet, so this will just give you an idea of the kind of sound quality you'd be getting out of the Rode Wireless 2 setup, or Rode mics in general compared to the Saramonic. So this is what it sounds like coming out of the microphone itself. So now I'm going to connect the lavalier mic and we'll see how that sounds. Now I have the optional extra lavalier pack, which isn't cheap by the way. As the Rode mics don't come with a lavalier mic, this is an optional extra, which is a bit of a shame. Now, just as I did with the Saramonic, I'm going to do a little range test and show you how it performs in a range. Now, as I walk away from the camera and get further away, this is going to be how it sounds. You're going to notice any drop-ins and drop-outs and see how it performs along the Saramonic. I'm going to walk about the same distance. I'm going to just keep talking and just see how well you can hear me, walking into the wind a little bit here. So if I turn around, get rid of that wind a bit and just see how it sounds. Just got to think of things to say now. Just got to keep talking, keep walking away, and again, get to a distance that is probably much further than you should ever need for a little mic setup like this. Now to run back to the camera. And finally, for one extra reference point, we have the Sennheiser XSW kit. Now it's similarly priced to both the Rode and the Saramonic kit, but one benefit it has is it comes with a lavalier mic where the Rode does not, but it doesn't have any built-in microphones, so you can't use this without a lavalier connected. You can't run it headless pretty much. But again, just as before, this is how it sounds. I don't have a built-in mic test, but I'm going to start walking away and we'll see how it does in the range. So I'm just going to click this on. And away we go. Now I've got to find more stuff to talk about, which is getting considerably harder the more I talk because I'm running out of things to say. But this is the Sennheiser kit. We've had it for a little while. It's another one we use. I don't think this one has a wind muff on the microphone, so I'm going to turn around to get less of that wind noise. Going to walk about the same distance, see if there's any dropouts, see if there's any problems with it. Going to keep walking. This is the Sennheiser XSW. As I said, it's a pretty good option. It's a pretty good alternative option as well. Same price, just a slightly different solution. Again, oh, I've walked a bit further this time. But again, this is probably further than you should ever need for like a lavalier set like this for small scale videography. Now, as I walk back for the 15th time, let's go back for final thoughts. Now, all three of those mics are in around about the same price range. So they all sounded very good. I was very surprised with the amount of wind reduction the Saramonic actually had in the wind, seeing as there's no wind muff that you can attach after the fact like you can on the Rode. Now for the range, the Saramonic didn't seem to drop out at all. It seemed to go the distance and everything. The same with the Rode. Now with the Sennheiser, it did seem to break up a little bit near the end, so it seemed to be a little bit more of a flakier system. Now I've spent a lot of time with the Rode mics. I've had situations where they have dropped out at not very far distances, but it all depends on the amount of interference in the room and thickness of objects blocking the sight line of the microphones. I haven't had the Saramonic's dropouts so far, but it's always a possibility with these kind of things. And it's safe to assume that the Rode Wireless Go 2 system probably has somewhat improved range and reliability. Overall, these seem like a great option to consider when looking for a wireless mic system. The fact that it comes with everything you need is a great selling point. The audio quality is great for almost any situation. It even withstands wind very well, even though the built-in mic does not come with a wind blocker. And the range for these kind of mics is probably more than you would ever need anyway. The only downsides I'd see is maybe these are a little bit on the large side compared to the other examples, but they're still so small and compact compared to the traditional style packs you get. Now the slightly bigger build does allow for quite a good battery life. I'm able to get a good few hours out of these without them dying on me. And plus, having the pack which comes with two, you can easily swap in another one and put the other one on charge when you're not filming. But if the worst does happen and all your mics do die, they all do have USB-C, so you can charge them while recording, which is great because if you have a big battery bang like this, you can have this running all day, no problem. The LED, as I mentioned earlier, might be a bit bright and big for shooting head on, but that can be mitigated by flipping it backwards. And a final thing, one other downside I've noticed is in testing, it does support two microphones, but when you record both at the same time, they are not separated. Both come through the left and right channels in your recording. So if people talk over each other, if these are on two different people, for example, you won't be able to separate those two tracks. So when you record with two mics, you have to make extra sure that your subjects don't talk over each other if you want to have any separation of the audio. As I always stress when I'm reviewing microphones like this, the sound is so subjective. I think they all sound great and they've all got their benefits and weaknesses in the sound department. But if you're looking for a specific sound, you should go for whatever you think sounds best. In my opinion, Saramonics are maybe a little bit tinny, but they have great clarity and a lot of high end. The Rodes, on the other hand, are quite a bit more muddy with less high end, but that allows them to get much better wind reduction and background noise. And the Sennheiser, again, very clear, but not great isolation from background noises. Yeah, let me know what one you thought sounded the best. And if you think this would be a great option for you to pick up, I think I'll be recommending it for people that want the full setup without having to spend extra for lavalier clips and stuff like that. I think it's a great little kit. I've been Rob, This is Photobyte. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.